Hello, welcome to Living Plants. I'm Kitty and today's video is how to prick out the tomato seedlings. This video is the second video in my How to Grow Tomatoes at Home series. If you haven't seen the first video, which is how to sow tomato seeds, I'll link it above and you can check it out if you're interested. Let's get started. What you'll need is the seedlings. Look how much they've grown since the first video. Potting on compost, a good multi-purpose compost is fine. Pots, preferably pots that are a little bit deeper, these 9cm pots are perfect. And labels and a pencil. You can start pricking the seedlings out once the first true leaves are around 3 to 4 centimeters long. In the first video in this series I explained the difference between seed leaves and true leaves, so have a look at that if you're not sure of the difference. I've left my seedlings a little bit longer than I should have because I didn't have time to prick them out. And the second set of true leaves are emerging. If you leave your tomato seedlings a bit longer than you like, it's not the end of the world. Tomatoes are very tough plants. They can handle neglect to a point, but I wouldn't recommend it. If the seed leaves are still attached to the stem, you can just leave them. Start by preparing your pots before pricking the seedlings out. Fill your pots with compost until the pots are about 3/4 of the way full. I found that it's easier to have the pots ready when you prick the seedlings out, so you can pop them straight into their new home and they're out of the soil for as short a time as possible. You're also not going to be filling the pots up to the top because when we put the seedlings into the pot, the soil is going to be moved to the sides, it's also going to be pushed up. So if you need to add any more soil at the end, you can just top it up. Because I only have 3 seedlings in this small pot, I'm tipping them out into my hand. Support the seedlings with one hand and tip them over and gently squeeze the pot until they slide out. And here they are. Look at those beautiful roots. The next step is to separate the seedlings gently, trying not to damage the roots. If the soil sticks to the roots, just leave it. When you're handling the seedlings, try to avoid touching the stem as it's very fragile, so use the leaves or the roots when you're moving it around. If the leaves or the roots get damaged in any way, well, they're going to grow back, but if the stem is damaged, it's curtains for the seedling. Sometimes it is unavoidable though, so don't worry too much about it. Time to pot the seedlings into their new pots, but before we do that, let's just take a closer look at the seedling. The amazing thing about tomatoes is that they have these little hair-like structures all over them, on the stems, on their leaves. They're not actually hair, they're something called trichomes, and these trichomes have a variety of function for the plants, which I'm going to talk about in another video. Every little hair that you see here sticking out of the stem actually has the potential to become roots when planted into the soil or put into water. So what we're going to do is plant the seedling right up to the seed leaves and bury this part here. By burying this small section here, we're adding to the root system. We want to create conditions for our tomatoes to develop a really healthy, solid root system. So by burying the seedlings up to the seed leaves, we're adding to this root system already, and it's going to grow into a beast. Right, let's plant them. Take your dibber or your finger and make a hole in the middle of the pot. Pop your seedling into the hole and firm the compost around the seedling nice and gently up until the seed leaves. If you don't have enough compost in your pot, just pop a bit more in. And this is how the planted seedling should look like. Repeat the same process with the other seedlings, add your labels, and then make sure you give the seedlings a nice big drink. Once you've done all that, place them back on that sunny windowsill. As they're growing, make sure you keep the compost moist but not saturated. And in about 3 weeks, they'll look like this. The seedlings are thriving and they're growing larger every day, which is typical for tomato seeds in the beginning of their growth. They really grow very quickly in this beginning stage of their life. Once the roots start to come out of the holes in the bottom of the pot, it's time to pot them on again, which is coincidentally part 3 of this series. How to pot on your growing seedlings. So look out for that one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.